Hello everybody, Wild Bill for America here, coming to you from Daytona Beach, Florida. Now this past weekend I was honored to speak at one of the Act for America rallies that took place all over the USA. Founded by Brigitte Gabriel, Act for America is planting the seeds of peace in the soil of America. We all want to live in peace, but peace does not come just by wishing for it. To have peace in this world, we must strive for it, work for it, and occasionally fight for it. Our children deserve it. Act for America calls for all Americans, regardless of political, religious, or lifestyle differences, to stand together and with one voice to expose and renounce Sharia law, a brutal system that has caused immeasurable suffering around the world. This week we saw Americans from all walks of life join Act for America to push back against the threat of Sharia law. Now, when I spoke at the Jacksonville rally, I did so for the memory of 8-year-old Safi, the little British girl who went to a teeny bopper concert in Manchester, England, and never came home. That little girl died with nails embedded in her face from a terrorist bomb. A Muslim man strapped on a bomb and deliberately targeted those boys and girls, blowing himself up and turning those happy, smiling children into chunks of bloody red meat. The intent was to inflict as much pain as possible, and the message was the same message we always get from men like that. Submit to Islam, or we will do this again and again and again until you do. The demand of terrorists is that we must all submit to Sharia law. Well, I was not cut out to be a slave, and that is exactly what Sharia law brings: slavery. Historians have described Sharia law as the heaviest chains to ever shackle mankind. As a law enforcement officer, I worked for 20 years to end wife beating and child abuse, and now I see Sharia law bringing these things into this country like a cancer. One of the atrocities of Sharia law is the mutilation of little girls. Millions of little girls in Sharia-compliant countries have been held down and their genitalia sliced away with a razor blade. Why? Because it ensures that she will never experience sexual pleasure for the rest of her life. They do this to keep the little girl from growing up to be promiscuous. What a horrible thing to do to a little girl. Islamic mutilation is felony child abuse in the USA, but in Muslim communities it gets done anyway. Often family members hold the little girl down, pull her legs apart, and grandma goes to work with the razor blade. No little girl should be brutalized like this. No little girl should be robbed of her future marital pleasure. This is just one of the nightmares that Sharia law brings to any nation that allows it to gain a foothold. Now, one thing about Sharia law that enrages me is the protection of rapists. As an American man, I cannot and will not tolerate rape. Under Sharia law, a woman who claims to have been raped must provide 4 male witnesses of impeccable character who actually saw the act. And you know what that means. Under Sharia law, men are free to rape women with virtual impunity from prosecution. Rape is a favorite tool of domination in Islam. Don't believe me? Just Google rape jihad in Europe. Tens of thousands of young women have been raped by the Islamic invaders from the Middle East. And they will bring that same nightmare to the USA unless we snap out of our nationwide apathy and stand with Act for America to stop Sharia law in its tracks. Regardless of who you are, Democrat, Republican, Christian, Jew, black, white, red, married, or single, if you're against child abuse and rape, then you should be an active member of Act for America. I salute Brigitte Gabriel for her years of dedicated work to bring these issues to light, and now that Sharia law is making its move to set up shop in the USA, I call for all Americans to stand with Brigitte Gabriel and Act for America. This is Wild Bill for America. Thank you for watching, and America bless God again.